Ah, yes, the Hunter Biden laptop. It's back again, and Jim Jordan is being more ridiculous than ever. Let's talk about it in today's video. Hi, I'm Mike Greiner. I'm a lifelong Democratic activist who's concerned about the direction our country is taking. I'm also a lawyer and an academic, and I'm here to help you stand up to the BS of the MAGA crowd. So Jim Jordan, one of the leading members of the House pedophile caucus, is leading his weaponization of the government subcommittee on another witch hunt. And as usual, he's digging deep into the Hunter Biden laptop theory. Hunter Biden, as you may recall, is President Biden's son, who has apparently struggled with drug addiction over the years. We may recall that in one of the debates, when Donald Trump brought up Hunter Biden, Joe Biden's response to that was, "My son has struggled at times, but he's doing well now, and I'm proud of him." Such a response from a loving father was so beyond the comprehension of Donald Trump that he was actually flabbergasted and didn't know what to say to that. But it points to the reality that many in America, myself included, are dealing with when our kids or other family members have struggled at times with drugs. To be sure, Hunter Biden has at times made questions that were not the best. For example, his decision to sell artwork at very high prices was really something that raised some eyebrows, including by me. But the thing that we keep circling back to is this supposed laptop that was allegedly left at a laptop repair shop by Hunter Biden and never picked up. Somehow, the laptop made its way into the hands of Rudy Giuliani, who then got it to the New York Post, who essentially published its contents without vetting them first. Now, while it is true that subsequent investigations seem to indicate that many of the emails on the laptop are, in fact, genuinely from Hunter Biden, there are questions about a lot of the other files, including by the owner of the laptop repair shop, who said that there were files added after the laptop left his shop. So questions certainly remain regarding everything about this laptop. And what's more is some of the conspiracy theories that Jim Jordan has floated in the past have kind of blown up in his face, like the one where he alleged that Hunter Biden was selling influence with the cooperation of his father to the Chinese, but it turns out that any communications that Hunter Biden had with the Chinese were after Joe Biden was no longer in office, so there was no influence to sell anyway. So even if we assume that everything is true that Jim Jordan presented, there still was no influence to sell. But the latest conspiracy theory has to do with social media. You may recall that there are allegations that Twitter and Facebook blocked distribution of the story because they believed that it could be Russian disinformation. There are only a whole lot of problems with that theory, one being that Twitter actually blocked distribution of the story for one day while they checked it out and then allowed it to be fully distributed, and Twitter, scratch that, and Facebook actually never blocked it. What's more is that the allegation that people were claiming this is a Russian disinformation campaign was based on a letter released by some former intelligence officials who said that the Hunter Biden laptop story has all the earmarks of a Russian disinformation campaign. They do not say it was a Russian disinformation campaign. They do not say they had evidence it was a Russian disinformation campaign. They simply said it could be. Something, frankly, that's hard to argue with. And what's more is it appears that this letter was written without any prompting from Biden or his campaign, or anybody associated with his campaign. In other words, there was no effort by the Biden campaign to suppress release of this story, and there wasn't even any suppression of the story. So once again, it appears that Jim Jordan and his weaponization of the government subcommittee are barking up the wrong tree. So why is Jim Jordan making such a big deal out of these ridiculous conspiracy theories? Well, first of all, you have to remember who his audience is. His audience is Fox News and their viewers. And all Fox News wants to do is pick clips of different hearings and then use them in their broadcasts. They don't want to be able to put these things into context. They don't want to show the whole hearing. They don't want to show the counter arguments and the demonstrations that everything that Jim Jordan said is completely false. What they simply want to do is get the sound bites that they can use on their news shows to support the arguments that they're making to their uninformed MAGA viewers. And the reason this is so important to Fox News, Republicans, and the other members of the MAGA crowd is because, of course, the Trump White House was a cesspool of grifting, with Ivanka and Jared, while working at the White House, making as much as $680 million. That's according to their own reports. So what the Republicans are desperately doing is to try to muddy the water, make it seem like, oh, you know, all these presidents and their families engage in grifting, so that suddenly Donald Trump doesn't look so bad, ignoring the fact that there's a huge difference between the blatant institutional influence peddling that went on during the Trump White House versus a troubled relative engaging in sometimes distasteful things that really have nothing to do with the White House in the first place. But again, we have to remember the goal on Fox News is not to tell the facts. It's to simply give information to the true believers that they can then use to confirm their beliefs that otherwise have no basis in reality. Well, if you want to see more about how the Hunter Biden conspiracy theories have blown up in the face of Jim Jordan, check out this video over here. I'll see you then. In the meantime, let's hope for continued progress. Thank you.